This week's parsha is Parshas Sisa. In Parshas Sisa, we have a very, very puzzling episode called the Chet HaEgel. The Chet HaEgel has to be discussed in the context of the dar that were nichshel on the Chet HaEgel. When we think about the Chet HaEgel, we think about terms such as Avodah Zarah and terrible, terrible consequences that come about from people that were mutinous, people that were rebellious, people that were not observant of the Derech Hashem. But that's too simple an approach when it comes to the Dar Deya. When it comes to the dar, which was the dar that was Makabel the Torah, the dar that was the Yatzei Mitzrayim, the dar that were Zeicha to Kriyas Yamsuf, Ra Shivcha al Hayah Mashaloi Ra Yecheskel ben Buzi, Amir Shivcha, lowly midwife, Alayam was Zeicha to see Madregas of Nevuah that even the great Yecheskel HaNavi could not see. These were not stam people. These were not stam lowly people that were in the mood for a rebellion. These were people that were Kedoshim Mitahayrim. This was the greatest generation of Klal Yisrael in the world. Throughout Jewish history, there was never a dar that was Zeicha to the Hasagas that this dar had. And all of a sudden we find as the pasuk in Shir Hashirim says, which alludes to this episode, this tragic episode of the Chet HaEgel, when the Melech was b'Mesibai at the Makom of Matan Torah, at the foot of Har Sinai, a few days after Matan Torah, they would be able to plummet so fast and so furious, and to be nichshel on the Chet of the Chet HaEgel, to be Oved Avodah Zarah, to take a golden calf and to bow down to it and to dance around it. There's something missing. We have to understand how this could happen. How Klal Yisrael could go me'igra ramo labira amikta, from a high rooftop, from the highest peak, and come crashing down to the lowest valley. How is that shayach for the Dar Deya? For this great dar, it's not. There's something that needs a hesber. Comes along the Beis Halevi. The Beis Halevi comes and explains the exact episode. The Hashkafas HaTorah had to understand the tremendous tragedy of the Chet HaEgel, how such a thing could happen. And the Beis Halevi says as follows. He says, we know how every mitzvah that we do in this world, how it has such profound effects in the Eilames Halyanim, how every mitzvah that we do could change a universe. If you see the Nefesh HaChaim, if anyone studies the Nefesh HaChaim, he knows the profound effects that a person has on this world. How every mitzvah that we do, how every word of Torah that we learn, how every good word that we give another person, everything that we do, it could change Eilames. Our actions are not trivial at all. Everything that we do has tremendous relevance in the big scheme. Everything that we do has a profound effect in the cosmic aftermath of what we do. Everything is real, everything is important. Everything that we do, every Ma'aseh Mitzvah that we do, we are building bridges to Shamayim. We are creating tremendous passages to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to the Kisei HaKavod. And Klal Yisrael desperately, this great dar, desperately yearned to have this communication, to have this open line of communication with the Rebbeinu Shalom, to be able to do things and have a cause and effect, to be able to do mitzvahs, to be able to do avodah, and to right away be able to have a direct connection to the Rebbeinu Shalom, and to be able to affect the Eilames L'mayla, which will in turn have a tremendous hashpah lamata. That's what HaKadosh Baruch Hu expects from Klal Yisrael, and that's what Klal Yisrael wanted to do for the Rebbeinu Shalom. And so when Moshe Rabbeinu was a day late, they didn't mean bad. Klal Yisrael didn't mean like we were brought up with, understanding, well, right away Moshe Rabbeinu isn't here, let's make a new God, let's toss away the old and bring in the new, and let's rebel against the whole system that we had until now. Chalila v'chas, to understand that Klal Yisrael, the Dardeya, would have such perverse intentions. Klal Yisrael meant good. Klal Yisrael wanted that they should have a makom, they should have a place where they could go and do Avodah, and the Avodah would be able to have a connection with the Rebbeinu Shalom. That's all they wanted. No more and no less. And so they understood, and the Beis Halevi compares it to the Mishkan. The Mishkan was not yet built. But they wanted something like that. If we don't have a Moshe Rabbeinu, if we don't have a leader that could give us a direct communication to know what the Rebbeinu Shalom wants from us, and to be able to be our conduit to get towards the Rebbeinu Shalom, to get closer to the Rebbeinu Shalom, and to tell us what mitzvahs to do and what HaKadosh Baruch Hu expects from us, then we want to build a place or a being that will be able to be Ayved, will be able to come to, sort of like a Mishkan, says the Beis Halevi. That's what Klal Yisrael wanted, that we have something that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we could have a communication with the Rebbeinu Shalom through this being, whatever it is. And so they didn't stop make an Avodah Zarah, make a Getchka. They went to Aaron. They went to the greatest Navi that they had. They had the greatest Gadol b'Yisrael. They wanted him to direct them. Tell us what we should do. We want to build a makom that will be able to have a direct communication to the Rebbeinu Shalom. Tell us what we could do. Tell us how to build it. Tell us the exact way, and that's what we're going to do. Because we want to continue establishing a closer bond with the Rebbeinu Shalom. We want ruchnius. We have she'ifas for gadlus. We want to get closer to the Rebbeinu Shalom. Tell us how we could do this. That's what Klal Yisrael did at that moment in time. And Aaron, because he felt pressure that Klal Yisrael really wanted something, even though that he felt that it was wrong, but he succumbed and he went through the maisa of going through the motions of building them, this Avodah Zarah, of this chet, this egel, and in turn, Klal Yisrael went, and a portion of them were dancing around it, singing, and they were, Moshe Rabbeinu, we know the rest is history. Moshe Rabbeinu came, and he saw this, and he was very upset by it, and he broke the luchais. But what the Yisai that the Beis Halevi is giving us is that it wasn't stam a prasta maisa avodah zarah. Klal Yisrael were very, very well intentioned. Klal Yisrael wanted to build themselves a makom that they could go and get a closer connection with the Rebbeinu Shalom. So what was the problem? What was the taina? Why was there such a tremendous punishment that Klal Yisrael had to endure as a result of this chet ha'egel? That Chazal tell us that every single time that we get punished, it always has a shemetz of the chet ha'egel. We're still living with the ramifications of the chet ha'egel ad hayom. What was wrong? It was good. It was a good thing, according to the Beis Halevi. Zok to Beis Halevi, there was one problem with the cheshbon of Klal Yisrael. And the problem is that you can't initiate a connection with the Rebbeinu Shalom. That's not the way our religion works. Everything that we do is only because there is a mitzvah, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the one that commands us to do this. This is what I want you to do, and you follow me. I don't need a Klal Yisrael that's calling the shots, that they're initiating new inventions, new innovations in regards to the religion. The whole religion must come kasher tziva oisei elokim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu commands us to do what He wants us to do. It's not that we are commanding ourselves to do something because it appears to be the right thing to us. What appears to us to be true and accurate and correct and good is irrelevant. All that we have to do is follow the mitzvah, follow the Rabbeinu Shalom HaKadosh Baruch Hu b'chachmasa ha'elyaina, tells us the Taryag mitzvahs, what to do and what not to do. He tells us through the Chachamim certain derabbanans what we're expected to do, the gezeres that the Chachamim institute for our good. That's also from the Rabbeinu Shalom. That also comes from the Chachmas HaTorah. And everything other than that, if we innovate, that's treif. If we innovate, that's avodah zarah. And therefore, says the Beis Halevi, that was the problem with the Chet HaEgel. The Chet HaEgel was not so much the evil in the intention. The intention was good. The kavanah of Klal Yisrael was pure and good and virtuous. The problem with the Chet HaEgel was that there was an inherent chisaron in the understanding of Klal Yisrael's relationship with the Rabbeinu Shalom. How the Rabbeinu Shalom is the mitzvah, and we have to follow the mitzvah. It's not for us to make up new religion. It's not for us to make up new mishkans, new avodas, new kavanas. That's not our business. It might sound good, it might be well-intentioned, but intentions are meaningless when it comes to being mechadish new things in the religion. That's not how Klal Yisrael is expected to behave. And if we do it, that's considered tantamount to avodah zarah. Avodah zarah, by definition, what's the term avodah zarah? It's an avodah. You're doing avodah to the Rabbeinu Shalom. The only problem is it's zara. Zara means it's foreign. You're worshiping in a foreign way. You're veering off the course. It's not what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants. If it's not what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants, you might have the best of intentions, but that's not the religion. The religion is following exactly what the Rabbeinu Shalom wants. Kasher tziva oiseh elokim. And anything that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not mitzvah, even though, but it's a great idea. Let's do it. Let's go, let's build something essential, avodah, something that we could get into. It'll be an icon, we could worship it, and it'll be really, by extension, we'll be worshiping the Rabbeinu Shalom. Such a great idea. It might be a good idea, but so what? If HaKadosh Baruch Hu did not initiate it, then that's avodah zarah. That's a strange, foreign avodah that has no place in Klal Yisrael, it has no place in Yadus. That's not our religion. Our religion is not, let's make up something new, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu will really like it because it's our, we have pure intentions. That's not the way it works. And to that, says the Beis Halevi, the reason why the kapara for the Chet HaEgel was none other than the Mishkan, it was because the Mishkan was exactly what Klal Yisrael intended, but it was with the right way. What does that mean? It was mamish the same thing. The Mishkan and the Chet HaEgel, the Egel Azab was supposed to be a central nucleus in Klal Yisrael where we could go and worship, and through Avodah that we do, we'll have a connection with the Rabbeinu Shalom. And that's what the Mishkan was. The Mishkan was a central place in the heart of Klal Yisrael that we could go, we could do Avodah to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we could feel a she'ifa and ruchnias. We can get close to the Rabbeinu Shalom, we could make tremendous reishim in the Ilamis HaYainim through every single Avodah, through every Karban, through every single Hazah. Everything that we do in the Mishkan is going to be a profound impact in Shamayim. But notice the Lashonis of the Pasuk. Every Pasuk in Truma and Tetzaveh and Ki Sisa and Vayakal Pekudei, at the end of so many Psukim it says, Kasher Tziva Oiseh Elokim. Vayasas HaMenorah Kasher Tziva Oiseh Elokim. Vayasas HaAron Kasher Tziva Oiseh Elokim. Etc., etc. Everything was, but it was predicated on the fact that I'm going to give you something as a kapara. You know what the kapara is? You're going to build something. It's going to be the substitute. It's going to be what you wanted. But the only difference is it's going to be kasher tziva oiseh elokim. There's a mitzvah here. There's a boss here. I'm in charge. I'm telling you what I want you to do. And you'll follow me to the T, and then you will get that connection to me that you so desire. But it has to be mitzvah, the mitzvah. It has to be kasher tziva oiseh elokim. Lacking a mitzvah, not only is it useless, not only is the connection, is the circuit not made, but it's considered avodah zarah. It's considered a foreign god. You're not worshiping me. Your intentions are to worship me, but it doesn't work. All the Goyim in the world that are worshiping avodah zarah somehow, some way, like the Rambam says, The Dar Enish had very good intentions. The intentions might be great to start worshiping HaKadosh Baruch Hu through an emtsai, but because I could feel closer through an emtsai, if I see something tangible, something visible, a shemesh, a reach, that's going to be much better. I could get closer to the Rebbeinu Shalom because I can actually understand it. Says HaKadosh Baruch Hu, yeah, but that's Avodah Zarah. That's not what I want. It's not kasher tziva Yisrael Elokim. It's an avodah, like the pasuk says, asher lo tzivisi la'avdam. You're going to worship icons, asher lo tzivisi la'avdam. I didn't command you. What does it mean you didn't command me? It means that your intentions might be perfect. You want to be oved these things in order to get close to me, but it doesn't work because that's not what I want. If I would want it, I would tell you to do it. By the fact that I'm not commanding you to do it, that means that I don't want it. And if you're doing something that I don't want, that's Avodah Zarah. That's not the religion. You're doing something, you might think that you're doing good, but you're not doing good at all. It's a tremendous Aveira to do something asher lo tzivisi eschem. And that's why the kapara was dafka a mishkan. You're going to do it, you'll build something, you'll have something to connect with me. But it's going to be on my terms, kasher tziva Yisrael Elokim. Everything's going to be mitzad the mitzvah. It has to come from me. It can't come from anyone else. I believe that that's the pshat we say in the Parshas HaKetores that we say on Shabbos. Some say it every single day. We say Tani Bar Kapara Ilu Haya Noisein Ba Kurtav Shal Devash Ein Adam Yachal Lamay Mipnei Reicha. If you would take that mixture of the Ketores Hasamim, of those Samimonim, and you would add a drop of honey into this mixture, Ein Adam Yachal Lamay Mipnei Reicha. What does that mean? A person would chalish from the smell of such a concoction, such a composition of those Samimonim, plus a quart of shal devash. If you'd add a bit of honey, the smell would be so divine that people would just start fainting all over from the beauty of the aroma, from the magnificence of the fragrance of the Samimonim. Together with a quart of shal devash, it would be a gewaldige smell. It would be mamish heaven. V'lama imarvim ba'devash. So Bar Kapara continues and asks, so Taka, why don't we? Why don't we put honey in this mixture? Wouldn't it be great? It would be mamish, it would be the most amazing mixture in the world. Let's do it. V'lama imarvim ba'devash mipnei sha'atayra amra. Because the Torah says, Ki chol sa'ar v'chol devash le'saktirim yimenu yishel Hashem. I don't want you to put honey, I don't want you to put sa'ar into this mixture. Don't do it. But why not? Let's do it. It's great. It's going to be amazing. A little bit of honey would just perfect this thing so much. I could have a mixture of this and I'll put a little honey in it and that would mamish make it perfect. It's missing this one ingredient. Let's do it. Zok bar kapara, don't dare do it. You know why? Because you might think that you're adding something. You might think that it's a great addition to make to this recipe. Throw this in the pan, and it'll be mamish unbelievable. It will be such a greater avodah. No, you're not doing it because you think it's a good idea. You're not doing it because in your mind this is going to make the religion so much better, or the avodah is going to be so much sweeter. Ki chal sahar v'chal devash lo yisaktir min ishel Hashem. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says it's on my terms. You listen to me. You're not doing things on your own volition. The religion is not let's all do what feels good or what we think is going to be great. We listen to the Torah. And the Torah says, don't put honey in it, so you don't put honey in it. But you're not missing anything. The Avodah is not what you think is good. The Avodah is what HaKadosh Baruch Hu determines is what the Avodah is. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, b'chachmasei, knows exactly the cheshbainis and the kavanas of each and every one of the Samimanim, each and every Avodah in the Mikdash. Don't add. L'isaisav al adavar, don't add v'laisigam menu. And the Mefarshim say because when you add, you're memela going to be taking away. Any addition that we could possibly add is nothing but subtraction. Because the religion is the religion, the Shulchan Aruch is the Shulchan Aruch. And if a person thinks, well, I'll make it better, you're not making it better, you're destroying it. This was the constant problem throughout history throughout the history of Klal Yisrael, of all the problems that we've had, be it with the tzedaikim, or the baisusim, or the maskilim, or the reform, or the conservative, what's the problem? The problem is that they thought in their minds that they were adding devash. They're going to add something to the religion, and they're going to improve the religion. They're not necessarily evil people. They're not bad intentioned people. They want to be, let's make the tent broader. Let's make much more, let's be more open-minded. We have to modernize the religion. If we allow people to drive on Shabbos, then attendance in the synagogues and the temples will go up dramatically. If we change the rules of conversion, if we say that that paternal yichus, if the father's Jewish, then that means the son is Jewish. That will automatically make that there's so many Jews in the world, more Jews in the world. Look how many Jews we're losing to intermarriage. We could stop that problem if we just change a sif in Shulchan Aruch. They are trying to add devash. They're thinking that they're improving the Torah. The maskilim were thinking that if we could just change it a little bit and not do this and do this a little bit more, that would make the Torah so much better. But that's avodah zarah. That's an avodah asher lo tzivisi eschem. Don't tamper with the religion. The religion is what it is. Shulchan Aruch is exactly as it's supposed to be. And if you add seifim, or you erase seifim, if you change words, if you add words into the nusach hatfilah, or you take away words from the nusach hatfilah, you might think that it's a devash. You might think you're making the religion much more palatable, much more sweet to the Hamayinam, a much more inclusive religion. Feh! That's not inclusiveness. That's destroying the religion, as the Chasam Sofer says, Chodosh is Osir min HaTorah. Chodosh is Asr min HaTorah. Any new innovation that a person has, that you think you're adding to the Torah, any such innovation is Asr. It's puzzle, it's treif, it's not an avodah that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants, it's an avodah zara. It's a strange foreign avodah. You're veering the religion off of the path that HaKadosh Baruch Hu set for us. Any change, any addition or any subtraction from the Torah's Moshe is nothing more or less than avodah zarah. That's what avodah zarah is. It's an avodah. You might want to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu with good hearts, but it's zarah, it's strange, it's veering off of the proper path, it's foreign. It's not what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants. There's no mitzvah. And if there's no mitzvah, then we have no right to do it. The halacha and the religion is all based on kasher tzivah Yisrael Elokim. If HaKadosh Baruch Hu is commanding it, do it. If he's not commanding it, then don't touch it with a 10-foot pole. It's not for us. It's treif. It's puzzle. Don't do it. My father has a very chashuv collection of svarim. And many of them are very, very old, very antique. And a lot of very chashuv kisvei yad manuscripts from my great-great-grandfather, who was the Würzburger Rav, Rabbi Moshe Bamberger, the Rav of Würzburg in Germany, was one of the Gedolei Hadar in the 1800s. So one of the things that he has in his collection is he has the Shas from the Würzburger Rav. It's a beautiful Shas. A very, very, if it wasn't the Würzburger Rav Shas, it would still be a priceless heirloom. It's a very old Shas. It's from probably the 1600s, with very chashuva cover, chashuva leather binding. The paper is mamish it's like a fabric. It's made of almost like a material. Thick, beautiful, luxurious Shas. It's priceless. And in addition to that, it happens to have my great-great-grandfather's Hagais, his Chidushim, in the margins, in the Gillion of the Shas. So it's obviously a very, very valuable, valuable thing in the Mishpacha. So when I was in high school, so I went to a very yeshivish high school, and anyone that went to certain yeshivas know that here we don't really have so many bound svarim, but in yeshivas, in many yeshivas, what they do is they have a special book binder in yeshiva, svarim binder, and there's a room somewhere in yeshiva, a small room, in which the svarim are bound. And basically, you could bind your own Gemara, and when he's not binding people's Gemaras, he's binding svarim of yeshiva. How do you bind what's a yeshivish binding? You basically take a drill, and you drill holes. You drill like 4 or 5 holes into the binding. Then you take like a fish tackle, like a really strong, fishing rope, and you put it through, and then you tie it and you pull it, and then you put some tape, some black tape like we have in the Gemaras here, on top of a very yeshiva shabbat, and then you write on the sides of the in some silver ink or whatnot, magic marker. You write whatever sefer it is, and that's a yeshiva binding job. So when I was young, when I was in high school, 9th grade, 10th grade, my father's birthday was coming up, and I had a great idea. He said, I'm going to sneak out one volume of Gemara at a time. I'm going to sneak it out of the house, and I'm going to give it to the binder in yeshiva, and he's going to bind all my father's Gemaras one after another. It's going to be unbelievable. My father's mom is going to be so happy for that now it's not going to shake so much the binding, and it's going to have clearly which Gemara each Gemara is, and it's going to be unbelievable. And I mamish had the whole thing set up. I already had spoken to the binder in yeshiva, and he agreed to do it for like $5 a volume. And Baruch Hashem, in the end, for whatever reason, Bashkachasa El Yainai, it didn't work out. I couldn't get them. Something, I don't know what happened, but mamish the Yad Hashem prevailed, and I was not able to actually pull off this stunt. If I would have, I would not be here today. That's pashut. I would mamish be taking the Mona Lisa and putting a mustache on it. That's what I'd be doing. And my father would have every right to be furious at me. But what's the problem? What's the problem with the cheshbon? The problem is that I was good. I was very well intentioned. My intentions was golden. I was a young boy, 9th grader, that wanted to make his father happy and proud, and he wanted to take something special and make it, in my mind, more special. The problem with my cheshbon was that my father didn't tell me to do it. My father didn't give me rishus to touch his Gemara. He didn't give me rishus. He was not mitzavah me. It's not my Gemara. It's his Gemara. It's his shas. And he didn't give me the rishus to put a yeshiva shabinding on his shas. He didn't give me the rishus to do that. That would have been the chisaron. That would have been the taina. The intentions might have been wonderful, but so what? If I had no rishus to do it, then you're not allowed to do it. And I believe that's HaKadosh Baruch Hu sitting up in Shamayim, looking down at some of the things that we do, at some of the things that Klal Yisrael does. And he says, you're doing what with my Torah? You're taking my Torah and you're putting yeshiva shabinding on my Torah? I didn't ask you to do this. I didn't ask you to touch my Shulchan Aruch. I didn't ask you to tamper with psukim in the Torah, to tamper with the Siddur, to tamper with the Birchas HaShachar. I didn't ask you to do these. What are you touching my Torah for? Leave my Torah alone. I know what I want from my Torah, and what I don't want you tampering with. If it's kasher tziva, if I'm mitzvah you to do something, then listen and listen well. But if I don't give you rishos, you might have the best kavanas, but who asked you to insert your kavanas into my Torah? Who asked you to put your binding on my Torah? It's not your Torah, it's my Torah, it's Torah's Hashem, and you don't have the right to touch it. Who gives you the right to change my Torah? Who gives you the right to edit my Torah and to affect my Torah? It's not our Torah to change, it's HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Torah, it's HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Yadus, it's HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Shulchan Aruch. And for people to come around and to say, but I could add Davash, I could add a Kortiv Shel Davash and I'll make it much better. He'll be so happy. What do you mean he'll be happy? He's not happy. You're touching his Torah. It's his Torah. Don't change it. He knows what he wants. And if he's not mitzaved in Shulchan Aruch, in the Ramah, in the Mishnah Berurah, then it's not for us to do, period. And this isn't just the maskilim that we're addressing here. It's not just the reform. It's not the conservative. It's us. We all do this with HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Torah. We all, maybe not as dramatically, Baruch Hashem, but we all have our mitzvahs that we change. And we all have our own Shulchan Aruch. We all have our own priorities when it comes to Avodas Hashem. Some people say, I think we all say it to a certain degree, I love the Torah, I love all the mitzvahs, except one mitzvah I don't like. Generally speaking, I think the mitzvah is Lashon Hara. Lashon Hara, I like Taryab mitzvahs, I don't like that 613th mitzvah, it bothers me. I'm a Misaper Lashon Hara, I can't help it. But you know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu says don't speak Lashon Hara, so why are you speaking it? The Teretz is because in a way, you are matzdik somehow, some way, you justify that that's for other people, that's for the Chavetz Chaim, it's not for me. I speak Lashon Hara. Some people are makel when it comes to kashrus. I'm not so machmir on this thing. It's not, I'm sure there's a shita somewhere in Shulchan Aruch that's makel in such a situation. I'll be makel. Some people are makel when it comes to other issues, taras and mishpacha issues maybe. Some people are makel when it comes to bittul Torah. It's not. I know, but it's not my religion. That's for the firmer guys in yeshiva. I battle. I speak Lashon Hara. I'm not makbid on this. I overly do that. We all make our own Torah. We all veer off. We don't always draw within the lines of Shulchan Aruch. And we know this. And every time we veer away from Shulchan Aruch, every time we consciously, and most of the time, if you're in yeshiva long enough, you know right from wrong. It's very hard to say that a yeshiva bacher that's constantly exposed to every morning by breakfast to the halachas of Lashon Hara, and very often in Vadin and in Shmuz and in Shiurim, and our own Musar Starim. We know what Lashon Hara is. And most Yeshiva Bachrim know that when they speak Lashon Hara, they're probably about to, they're aware of the fact that they're about to speak Lashon Hara. They're not just shaygagin. We know what we're about, and we make a conscious decision every time we speak Lashon Hara. I know I'm speaking Lashon Hara, but I'm going to speak it anyway. Why? Because I'm going to do it. I don't know why. But the Torah says don't do it. Yeah, but it doesn't apply to me. Why doesn't it apply to you? Well, I don't know. I'm not in a good mood today. I'm not holding there. Whatever teretz that we have, there is something that is missing in our zika to Torah, in our hischayvus to HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Torah. If we really want to be Avdei Hashem purely, and we really understand the Musar Haskell of the Chet HaEgel, then we have to make sure to mamish stay within the boundaries of the Shulchan Aruch, the assays and the lois assays. Not to justify, not to make our own religion, not to add certain things when we think it's going to be better. We'll justify certain behaviors or certain kulas because in the long run it'll be better. I could be makariv more people this way if I'm matir a certain thing which we know is asur. Whatever it is, all these things, you have to go to a paisik, you have to go to a Talmud Chacham, a Meir Derech, and see, is this right or wrong? You can't paskin things on your own because we don't always have the answers, or if we do, we have too much negiah sometimes to answer questions efficiently and effectively and properly. A lot of times we are doing nothing more than making our own religion by being matir certain things that really there's no makom to be matir. But we're doing it because we've justified it. Just like the Dardeya, Klal Yisrael justified making an egel, and the Maskilim justified what they did. Everyone justifies it. But it's Avodah Zarah. If there's no mitzvah, if it's not what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants, it's not Kasher Tzivah Yisrael Elikim, then it's dangerous, then it's Chadash. And Chadash is also Minat Torah. Something that's new, anything innovative, throw it away, cast it away. If it's not in Shulchan Aruch, if it's not in Mishnah Berurah, if it's not something that Klal Yisrael has always done, then don't do it. Because if you do it and you justify, you might have all the best intentions in the world, but if it's something that's out of the framework of Klal Yisrael, of the Teiras Hashem, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu is looking down and saying, what are you tampering with my Torah for? What are you patching with my Torah for? Leave my Torah alone. Don't make up a new religion. Don't be nichshel in the Chet HaEgel. And I believe that's why the Bechira was taken away, the Aveda. Who were the Kaihanim? Who were the people that served in the Mishkan? It was taken away from the Becharim and it was given dafka to Shevet Levi. Because Shevet Levi were the people that purely responded to the call of Moshe Rabbeinu when he asked, Mi Lashem Elai, whoever is purely with me and with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, come here. We have a war to fight now. We have to stand on the ground of HaKadosh Baruch Hu and fight the good fight against all the people that are going against the pureness of Torah. And the Chavetz Chaim asks, why just Shevet Levi? Only Shevet Levi came. I thought only 3,000 people were killed as a result of the Chet HaEgel. Only the Erev Rav, I thought, were involved in the real Chet HaEgel. So why only Shevet Levi? Shouldn't there be like hundreds of thousands of people coming to Moshe Rabbeinu besides Shevet Levi? So the Chavetz Chaim said that yes, 3,000 people were the ones that were actually dancing and physically being Oved the Egel. But every other person in Klal Yisrael except for Shevet Levi somehow, some way contributed to the Chet HaEgel. Either they might have given some nizamim, they might have thrown some earrings into the pot, they might have thrown a couple of quarters into the pot, or they might not have made a macha against them, they might have secretly admired what was going on or not protested vehemently enough. All of these things mean that you are a party to the Chet HaEgel. Only Shevet Levi were the ones that said, we are not going to let this stand, period. There is absolutely no compromise when it comes to Torah's Hashem. Mila Hashem Elai, HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Torah by us is pure. This is treif, this is Avodah Zarah, and we are going to fight. And the Pasuk says, Yaru Mishpatecha LeYaakov. In the schus of that Maisa, that they came and they answered the call of Mila Hashem Elai, they are the Paiskim of Klal Yisrael. They are the ones that are going to decide all of the issues on behalf of Klal Yisrael because they understand this lesson. That in order to be a Meirah Derech, a Meirah Hayra, you have to understand that it's HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Torah. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu purely is the one who is the mitzvah, and we have to purely follow him. Any veering away from the pureness of Torah is Avodah Zarah. And Dafka Shevet Levi, who absolutely did not have any kesher with the Chet HaEgel whatsoever, they remained vigilant against any form of Chet HaEgel. They are the ones that could be the Paiskim of Klal Yisrael because they answered the call. When Moshe Rabbeinu said, Mila Hashem Elai, they went and they killed their own relatives, the Pasuk says. If their mother's father, Yisrael, was being Oved Avodah Zarah, if they were being worshipping the Egel, they would kill them. There was no compromise when it came to Shevet Levi. There was no, let's think about it, let's discuss, let's negotiate. It's not that bad maybe. Let's look at it in a positive light. When it comes to Shevet Levi are people that see clearly right from wrong. There is no gray area when it comes to Shevet Levi. You have to know what HaKadosh Baruch Hu is mitzvah and what he is not mitzvah. And what he's mitzvah we follow, and whatever is not within the realm of Torah's Hashem is Chadash, and Chadash is also Min HaTorah. I heard once from Rav Shimon Schwab. I went to visit him once in the summer, and he told me the following Maisa, which is a famous Maisa. It's very he said it at many events, many big public events, and he's written about it in his books. But I was zeicha to hear it personally, so it's a little more special for me. He once spent the Shabbos with the Chavetz Chaim. He spent the Shabbos in Radin, which was a very, very tremendous historic experience for him, obviously, but we're all beneficiaries because he wrote down every single conversation that he had heard from the Chavetz Chaim, every shmuz that the Chavetz Chaim gave over the weekend from Friday till Sunday when he left, and tremendous pearls of wisdom that the Chavetz Chaim always said, but very few people, bothered to write everything down as Rav Schwab did. One conversation was a very funny conversation that he had with the Chavetz Chaim. The Chavetz Chaim was by that point very, very old, in his 90s, and people could maybe think that he was not 100%. He was already old, and when people get very old, their minds are not always there. So the Chavetz Chaim looks at Rav Schwab, a young Rav Schwab, who was maybe 17, 18 years old, and he said to him, Are you a Kayin? He says, No, not a Kayin. says, I'm a Kayin. Chavetz Chaim says to Rav Schwab, he says, of course, everyone knows, the whole world knows that Chavetz Chaim is the Kayin Gadol. So he says, you know why you're not a Kayin? Why you're not a Kayin? So Rav Schwab says to him, he says, I'm not a Kayin because my father was not a Kayin. He says, yeah. He says, but why was your father not a Kayin? So Schwab was like maybe thinking, all right, let's go through this, I guess. So, my grandfather was not a Kayin. Okay, why was your grandfather not a Kayin? He says, because my great-grandfather was not a Kayin. So Chavetz Chaim says, no. He says, the reason why you're not a Kayin is because your great-great-great-grandfather, when Moshe Rabbeinu called out, Mila Hashem Elai, my great-grandfather came running to the call, answering the call of Moshe Rabbeinu, that I am in your camp, I'm ready to do anything that I have to do to stop this Magefa of the Chet HaEgel. And your great-great-grandfather sat on the sidelines and did nothing. He did not respond to the call of Moshe Rabbeinu, of Mila Hashem Elai. That's why I am a Kayin, and you are not a Kayin. Not mere genetics. It's because of an event that took place by the time of the Chet HaEgel, and the cause and the results of the effects of what your great-grandfather did and what my great-grandfather did have a ripple effect until today. I'm a Kayin, you're not a Kayin, because my great-grandfather responded to the call of Mila Hashem Elai and yours didn't, period. And he says, something that's a crying shame, says the Chavetz Chaim, because the Beis HaMikdash is going to be rebuilt very soon. He says, and I am going to be Zaycha to worship in the Avodah in the Beis HaMikdash, to bring the Karbanos, and to bring all of the Avodas of the Mishkan, of the Mikdash. And you are not going to be able to. All because my great-grandfather answered the call of Moshe, and yours did not. And he says, remember this for all time, he says to Rav Schwab. And tell everyone that you ever meet about this. And tell them that when you hear the call, in your time, when you hear the call of Mila Hashem Elai, when you hear the call of answering purely HaKadosh Baruch Hu's wishes, make sure to run and answer that call. Don't ignore the call. Don't sit on the sidelines, but run and answer the call of Mila Hashem Elai every single time. And that will have a profound effect not only on you, but on your descendants 1,000 years from now. This is such a profound message that the Chavetz Chaim gave us, each individually. Every single day of our lives we have a calling of Mila Hashem Elai. It's not always so easy to hear, but it comes up in every single time that we have a shayla, every time we have a suffix in halacha, a suffix in hashkafa. Should we do something or should we not do something? Should we speak the juicy words of Lashon Hara that we have on the tip of our tongue? It's such a great time. It would be such a great response I would get if I could just throw in this zinger into the conversation. Should I do it or should I not do it? Mila Hashem Elai. There's a calling. Are you HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Eved or not? Are you obedient? Are you completely obedient to HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Torah or not? That's what it comes down to. And if you are, then not only are you going to be Zaycha, but in 1,000 years from now, your children, your great-grandchildren will be Zaycha to higher Hasagas and Ruchnias in Avodas Hashem as a result of your response, your correct response to Mila Hashem Elai. If you have a Shaila and Hashkafa, I'm not sure if I should do this or I should do that with my life. I'm not sure if this girl is right for me or if this girl is right for me. I'm not sure exactly which mahalach I should do. I don't know what I should do in the summer. I don't know what I should do I don't know. Mila Hashem Elai. You have to know, don't paskin shailas on your own. Don't try this at home. There is a HaKadosh Baruch Hu, there is a mitzvah, there is a das Torah. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants a certain thing from you. And very often we know right from wrong inside. We know what the right answer is. But we ignore the right answer because it's not convenient. It's inconvenient sometimes. And we'd rather do it on our own. We'd rather forge in a different path because it's easier, it's more geschmack, it's more lucrative, it's more alluring. But that's the calling of Mila Hashem Elai. And as B'nai Torah, as Shevet Levi, and B'nai Torah are the Shevet Levi, Bizmanenu, that's what the Rambam says. You have to always make sure to answer every single time to the call of Shevet Levi, of Mila Hashem Elai. And if you do that, as the Chavetz Chaim says, and you're going to be Zeicha, not just yourself, but your great-great-great-grandchildren are going to be Zeicha, to be Kaihanim, to be the Shevet Levi of their dairas, to be the Paiskim of their dairas, because they had you as the road blazer, as the one that's setting the path in their life and in your own life, to respond to Mila Hashem Elai, to throw away, to cast away the Avodah Zaros of our dar, the things that lure us, the Eitz Saharas that are trying to get us away from the Teiras Hashem, that are trying to entice us and to say, there's another Eitzah, we could do something else, and maybe this will be better because of this, that, and the other reason. But you know in your heart of hearts, or maybe you don't, and that's why we need Rabbanim, and we need Paiskim, to make sure that what we're saying and what we're doing and what we're thinking, and the path that we're forging for ourselves, is the one that follows the Derech Hashem, the one that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is being mitzaveh to us, and never ever to go off course, to never ever veer away from even one ice, a kutzah shel yod of the Torah, of the Shulchan Aruch, of our Rabbanim. That's the Yesod of Shevet Levi. That's why Dafka Shevet Levi was Zeicha to be Yerei Mishpatach Yaakov and Mitzvah Hashem. We should all be very, very wonderful members of Shevet Levi for the rest of our lives. Shabbos.